recorded live.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Travis and Vic's Drunken Horror Adventures. Somehow or another, we're the ones on the line. Travis and Vic, what the fuck? This never happens. What's going on, buddy?
What is going on, man? How are we living today?
Well, you know, you're breaking up, talking like you're sounding like you're talking out of your ass again. But, you know, it is what it is. At least we got to hear your voice. You're the melodic tones of Vic's Little Pie.
Shut up. You guys is crazy.
I hear Blake from Bumfuck Nashville calling in. He's here.
He gets mad when you say that. Don't say that no more.
You're the one that said it.
Yeah, and he got mad.
What's up, Blake?
What's up, fella?
Are you in Bumfuck Nashville still?
Damn, what is that horrendous static in the line?
Thank you. That's what I said.
Well,
I just don't hear it.
How about this? I try calling back in, and you guys talk a little bit. I'll call back in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't hear the static, and I did, so he blamed it on my phone.
Well, I heard the shit.
So it's his phone then. We're good.
Yep. How's it going, brother?
It's going, man. I'm here, I'm drinking, and I'm tired.
I feel you.
I'm in Nashville.
What's that?
I said, how's it going down in Nashville?
I don't know. I'm not in Nashville. Fuck.
I'm back.
Close enough, damn it.
Any better?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's better.
much better.
Good. Sorry about that, everybody. Listeners, Blake, Vic included. So tonight we're talking about Scream 2 and Scream 3, and we're going to find out how they stack up to the original. And fuck, man, with us talking about two movies, I better jump right into this shit. Blake's going to be nice enough. Blake's going to be nice enough to do Scream 3 for me. So let's talk Scream 2 first. It was released December 12th, 1997. So, I mean, fellas, we get a second year straight of Scream, and it's released right around the holidays again. I guess they figured, you know what, it worked the first time, let's do it again.
Yes, sir.
Which I was good with.
I mean, it did work to great effect the first time. So, of course, you know, if something's proven to be, you know, like it's going to work, if it's proven correct, of course they're going to try it again.
Hell yeah. And they didn't wait either. This was like Saw, you know what I mean? Or like, I don't know, what movies come out year after year. They didn't even wait, you know, more than a year. Yeah, the early ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we get Scream 2 coming out a year after the first one, less than a year, really. And, you know, we get, you know, kind of the same cast of characters. By the way, this movie gets a 6.1 on IMDb. What do you think about that, fellas? I guess we can get into real thoughts about it after the show, but 6.1 for a sequel, not bad, really. You know, because, you know, sequels get destroyed.
Yeah, it's actually fairly high for a sequel, to be honest.
They even make comments about sequels in this movie, and we'll get into that in just a second. Well, let's start out with Scream 2. Let's kind of start breaking it down. Right off the bat, you get Sidney Prescott and Randy Meeks. You know, they attend Windsor College in Ohio, but we're going to get there. At the beginning of the movie, it opens up just like the first one, where you've got, like, kind of an intense scene. And the way it starts out is there's a preview showing of Stab coming out. People are getting, like, free tickets and shit. And it's based on a book by Gail Weathers, of course, Courtney Cox, about the Woodsboro murders. And Phil Stevens, played by Omar Epps, is in the theater with his racist black woman, because she is. I don't give a fuck. She's complaining about all black. Their conversation is funny as hell, because she's like, it's going to be about some white chicks getting cut up by some crazy motherfucker, and he's like, and she's trying to get him to go watch a Sandra Bullock movie, and he's like, fuck you, I got these tickets for free, you know what I'm saying? Plus you have dyke hair, so I'm not interested in you that much anyway.
You think that's what he said?
I think that's what he's saying. You know, her hair was terrible in this movie, which we'll get into terrible hair in Scream 3, but Jesus. I mean, I know that's kind of Jada Pinkett's Smith style, but it's awful. Plus, she's scrawny as shit in this movie too. She crackhead skinny. So anyway, well, it's true. She is, man. She's skinny as hell here. So Omar Epps and her are talking, and basically, this is kind of, I guess, the commentary on black people in horror movies, because these are the first ones to go. Because Omar Epps, you know, he goes to the bathroom after they're starting to watch this movie that is based on Scream. I mean, it's based on the story of what happened in Scream, but you know, they take liberties with it. It's kind of funny. Like, you've got Heather Graham playing Casey from the first one, and like, she gets out of the shower, and so I mean, you get all these horror cliches going on in this movie that they're watching right away. So Omar Epps gets up because he's got to take a leak. So he goes to the bathroom, and I can't describe this theater to you, but I'll try. They're like giving out. Think about how fucked up this is. I just have to take a step back. Okay, they're watching a movie about real life murders that was made into a movie, and they're giving out the masks that the real life killer wore, and then they're portraying it in the movie. Basically, this would be like going to a movie about, I don't know, Ed Gein and giving out skin suits, like not long after it happened. That's basically what this is. It's fucked up. I mean, if you really think about it, it's pretty disturbing.
Yeah, it is, and it wasn't just the mask. They were giving out the full-fledged outfit, the robe, and all that, and then they had the little knives. I mean, they were basically giving out verbatim the suit that the killer wore. Like you said, that would be like giving out skin suits or giving out old granny wigs and granny dresses and butcher knives to somebody for going to see a Scream and Psycho. It's more or less the same kind of shit, you know?
Yeah, and all of this is kind of a commentary on violence in cinema, I think, in some way. But, I mean, so it's just crazy to me that, like, this theater is basically doing a movie about a real-life killer, and yet they're giving out the same shit that the dude's wearing. It'd be one thing if it was Jason. He's not based on anybody. Or even Leatherface. I know he was loosely based on Ed Gein, but that was like 40 years later. Nobody gave a shit by then. And it's not like he was anything really like him other than a couple of nods. I don't know, man. It's just pretty bizarre. But, you know, it's a movie, so fuck it. So Omar Epps goes into this bathroom, and when he walks in, like, everybody in the bathroom, these guys are just taking a piss, and they kind of turn around and look at them, and they're both wearing ghost face masks, and the whole costume. It's like, what the fuck? So he decides to go into the stall because he didn't want them seeing his man meat. Right, Vic?
Yeah. His man meat is swinging, man. They can't be seeing that.
Well, it's funny because he goes into this bathroom stall, you know, and, like, he starts hearing this. I don't know. Did you guys make out anything that this voice was saying in the stall next to him? Because I've never been able to. I just heard and it kind of a female voice.
Yeah, I made out what it was. It's saying, "I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. You know, mommy this, mommy that." It's almost reminiscent of the Killer Mommy Killer that Bessie Palmer did, but I think that's, which I don't want to spoil the killer. Or the killer, yeah, for anybody listening that for whatever bizarre reason hasn't seen the films. But if you haven't seen the films and you're listening, you're on the wrong podcast, because we're going to fucking ruin this shit for you, because that's what we do out here. You know?
I'm sure within about 30 minutes we'll be telling you all who the killer is. So if you haven't cashed out and then watched the movie and come back yet, then you fucked up.
Yeah, but it's just basically what it is I'm sorry, please forgive me. I wasn't a better... mommy's going to do better, mommy this and that, I'm sorry, mommy. And it's just really disturbing stuff, and it doesn't make any sense at first. And like you said, it's so quiet. I actually had to watch it with subtitles on and sit close to the television to make sure, because, you know, subtitles can be wrong on some of these movies. Look at the Godzilla movies that have been transcribed into English, for Christ's sake. Dialogue is nothing like what they're saying, but anyway, I digress. But yeah, I had to get close to listen, and that's what it is. It's almost very reminiscent of something Norman Bates would say, or something that Bessie Palmer would say, you know, as a parent.
That all makes a lot more sense to me now, to be honest with you. Because I've always thought that he thought somebody was in the stall fucking next to him. And that's why he was sticking his, because he kind of reacted like that, you know?
Well, the other movie that came out a couple years after this, Scary Movie, which is initially what the first Scream movie was called, does that same kind of thing, but they take it that way. Ray's listening to two people, fornicating in the other stall, and that's what he's listening for. And instead of a knife to the ear, he gets a big cock. So it's
that was so fucking weird. I remember seeing that in the theater. Anyway, so Phil Stevens, Omar Epps, he takes his, he's listening to the stall next to him, and all of a sudden you get a shot of Ghostface right off the bat. We, like in the first one, they kind of keep Ghostface hidden, and then you see him in a few minutes. This one doesn't take long. Ghostface stabs the shit out of this dude right in his ear, and he just fucking bleeds out, dies right there. And so I guess the killer now is wearing his jacket. He comes to sit down with Jada Pinkett. By the way, one scene I noticed before Omar Epps went to the bathroom is that, Jada Pinkett ordered a small Diet Coke. Did you fucker see this small Diet Coke? I mean, I know it's like California, but good God.
Away, you see it. When she's walking away, when they cut to her walking away, you see it, but you don't see the usher or the concession employee give it to her. You see him give her popcorn. You don't see the drink. She orders the drink, but you don't see the drink until she walks away. It's there. It's just you don't see it.
Huge, man. That Diet Coke is humongous. I mean, for a small Diet Coke, that's pretty fucking big.
Yeah, movie concessions are awful.
Yeah, well, if they're going to charge you $6 for whatever, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Anyway, so, the killer, and we know it's the killer now, it sits next to Maureen Evans, who's Jada Pinkett, and, she thinks it's her boyfriend wearing a mask, because remember, everybody in this fucking theater has a mask, and they're all acting like a bunch of fucking crazy people. Can you imagine being in a theater with these people? And look, I know I said stereotypical Jew on the David Berkowitz show, but this girl, she was a stereotypical black girl, okay? If you've been in a theater with a black girl, 9 times out of 10, not every time, because we sat there with a black girl once upon a time, and we were trying to get her to do it, but she was far too white to act like this. She's sitting there, like, telling the killer, or telling the girl to run this way. Vic, tell me that's not, am I making things up, or is that the stereotype?
Yeah. It's not really even a stereotype. Like, it's just true.
The worst I've ever seen people in a theater was Jason X. And now I kind of realize why, because it was such a shit movie. But like, everybody in this movie is just going ape shit. And and everybody's in a mask, and everybody's just going crazy. But anyway, she, like, reaches for popcorn. Or no, she gets scared, while she's watching the movie, and then she kind of looks at her hands and realizes that there's blood on her fucking hands because it was on this jacket. And the killer stabs her right in the gut, and this is why the crowd's, like, just going ape shit. So, everybody's wearing the killer's costume, so this person just blends in, and everybody's carrying fake knives. So nobody's taking it seriously, and he stabs her a couple more times, I think, and she gets up and just wanders over to where the big screen is. And then she just fucking dies in front of everybody. And the crowd realizes she's not faking, but it's way too late now because this killer, it would be easy to get the hell out of there by then. But I have to tell you, fellas, this death scene of hers, I don't mind the whole opening, but her death scene, I don't know, man. It rivals Principal Henry from the last movie for shitty death scene.
The best part of this death,
my opinion.
Honestly, the best part. The best part of this death is when she first gets stabbed, there is a white girl sitting behind her that gets blood flecked on her, and she's trying to figure out where the hell the blood comes from.
Right, and she's kind of looking at her like, where, she's trying to figure it out. She's like, damn.
That is more scary
this
than
theater
anything.
must have effects, like the Tingler.
Yeah, could you imagine? That's more scary than Maureen Evans' death. Could you imagine being in a movie theater while somebody's getting really killed and you get their blood on you while you're trying to watch a movie about a couple of people that murder people that's based on something real? That's too. I didn't do shit. Therapy. Hello. I mean, you have to go to therapy.
That shit makes me think of the Colorado shooter. Now that I think about it, I hadn't even thought about that when I was watching this movie. But now that you bring it up, that's what it makes me think back to.
This is why y'all invite me back. This is why I get to come back.
Yeah, exactly. You get us thinking, Blake. That's what matters. But our brain cells have died off a long time